Hello, Confetti Club. It is Pixie, and I am tired. This video is probably going to be the closest thing to like a drama video that I'm ever gonna make. So if you're like me and you like to completely rid your life of any sort of drama, gossip, scandal, YouTube drama bullshit video, feel free to walk away. But to me, this really is an issue that I need to talk about. I have a platform. Mental health is an extremely important thing to me, and I have been following all of the people involved in this situation for multiple years. So Jillian has some opinions, and I am talking about the Trisha Paytas DID dissociated Anthony Padilla H3H3 situation that's going on right now. For those of you who are completely unaware of what's going on, which is probably a big chunk of my audience, Trisha Paytas is a very well-known YouTuber on here. She has been YouTubing for, oh god, I've been watching her since middle school, and I did stan her and was a big fan for a long time. We'll get to the past tense was very soon. Anthony Padilla, I've also followed almost my whole life. He was in Smosh. H3H3 / Ethan Klein, the H3 podcast, that is less relevant, but very sad. I've also been following them for years. They're also kind of, maybe not as OG, but they've been around on this platform for a long time. And Dissociated is a DID YouTuber who I recently started following last year, and I learned a lot about dissociative identity disorder. And it's been very bizarre seeing this whole thing unwind with my different ties and opinions and like loyalties to these different parties. It's been just so heartbreaking and enraging to see the shit that's being put on the internet right now and who it's hurting. This has nothing to do with the whole virus, by the way. Just, I'm sorry, I'm putting out negativity into the world, but I never do this. I'm so upset. It has to happen. I'm drinking my coffee. Virus chat soon. I don't know. Is anyone sick of that? I am. So Anthony Padilla, formerly a member of Smosh, he has been doing these I spent a day with videos where he interviews people from different, I don't know, like he's done episodes on flat earthers, he's done episodes on furries, he's done episodes on asexuals, he's done episodes on now people with dissociative identity disorder. And dissociative identity disorder, or DID, is what used to be known as multiple personality disorder. How do I describe this in a very sensible way?
Dissociative identity disorder is a coping mechanism. DID is a disorder that develops during childhood in order to protect that child from repeated childhood trauma. It's actually more common than schizophrenia and about as common as bulimia. About 2% of the population of the world has this disorder. When we are born, every single child starts off with an unintegrated personality. We have various states of self which are responsible for different roles. So for example, in a baby, I'm hungry, I want food, cry. And then another one might be, I need to go to the toilet. Another one would be attachment to the primary caregiver. Most of these wants and desires are not connected, they're very separate from each other. Around the age of 7 to 9, all these different parts fully integrate together to become one fully combined personality. But if repeated trauma happens before the ages of 7 to 9 and there is not a very healthy attachment to the primary caregiver, amnesic walls can go up between these parts. And that means that when it comes to the ages where this personality should integrate, in order to protect themselves from the memories of the trauma that's happened and the understanding of the trauma that's happened, this child's mind won't be able to fully integrate due to these amnesic walls, these memory blocks that have gone up to keep them safe. That's how dissociative identity disorder is formed.
And I spend a lot of time on mental health YouTube, and I'm also quite a big fan of Anthony's. And I had been starting to see DID videos pop up in my recommended over the course of 2019, really, because you guys know I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder last year in the spring. Actually, I remembered I was diagnosed on Valentine's Day, so like, I love me. So basically, I was definitely on a big YouTube rabbit hole for like the entire year, and still up to this day, researching different things about BPD and other personality disorders, and dissociation, which is a symptom that is one of the main symptoms of my BPD, is dissociation. So through rabbit holing and clicking through YouTube, I started absolutely falling in love with all these different DID YouTubers, specifically Dissociated and Team Pinata, because Nan of Team Pinata also has BPD, and their videos have really helped me understand my symptoms better. So to see Dissociated on Anthony's video, it was so beautiful, it made me cry. I came to school the next day, and I was chatting in the halls with my 2 other friends in fashion who I didn't even know were also in on all the like Dissociated lore, because you know, there's quite a lot of information you pick up when you're following DID YouTubers. There's a lot of different names and quirks and personalities and inside jokes and things, so it's really fun when you meet other people in real life that like follow these people. You're like, oh my god, did you see that video? I love Jeremy, they're so cute together. Oh my god, the proposal, tee-hee. And all of this absolute joy and wonder that the Anthony Padilla dissociative identity disorder brought, I think, the community. I'm not in the DID community, of course. I'm only looking in from the outside in the adjacent mental health sphere, I guess. But it was a really great thing, and it was a really wonderful representation, and Anthony Padilla is just a fantastic human being, and it was a great thing. But of course we can't have good things on the internet, and so came lovely, infamous Trisha Paytas.
In my real life, so many people ask, do you have a disorder? Are you diagnosed with something? Are you bipolar? Are you schizo? And I'm like, honestly, I've never been diagnosed with anything. The closest thing that I have self-diagnosed myself, I guess, is multiple personality disorder.
Who I also have stanned for years. I'm not joking. Years. Trisha Paytas is definitely the person out of all of the people I have mentioned, all the creators I have mentioned, I stand Trisha the hardest and the longest. I twerked to fat chicks. I really felt it. I really loved all her hauls and stuff, her bedazzling. I think my first video of her was like her singing Wicked on her floor. I was just really attracted to kind of the down to earth or like down to the floor nature of her videos. As you can see, I am bidding you a reference with my floor situation, Trisha. Trish uploads a video basically saying that she has DID. And if you're not in on this situation, this might look really bad. Please watch the videos in question. I mean, not to like support her, but you kind of need like the context. And the thing with Trisha is that she has an incredibly bad and undeniable track record of doing this. She came out in late 2019 as a trans man, which was a whole scandal, and she still uses she, her pronouns, obviously, which is why I'm referring to her with those. The whole trans thing was a very complicated situation, which I don't feel comfortable overly commenting on because I'm a cis woman and like other people have said it better, but I just have to say the DID thing was not the final straw for me for Trisha, that like I have unfollowed her many moons before. The trans thing happened. Shortly after that, she also uploaded a video which didn't go as viral because I guess BPD doesn't get the clicks, but she made a video completely coming out saying she has borderline personality disorder, even though she also says in that video that she's not diagnosed. Also in the DID video talks a long time about how she has it and how, you know, all these things she experiences with her DID or MPD or both or either, as she says, but she's not diagnosed. And at least she says that in the videos to, you know, give us that fact and that ground to say, hey, you really probably shouldn't be making these videos saying these things if you're not diagnosed by a professional. Especially when the things she's saying are so incorrect, completely scientifically, factually, societally incorrect, and so harmful. So harmful. I'm making this video because Trisha Paytas is just spreading extremely harmful misinformation, and we need more voices out there because DID is not something that I think the general mass population really has a lot of knowledge about right now. I knew nothing about DID before I found Nin and Nan and all the other systems on YouTube and I started researching it there. I really didn't understand. And I can only imagine the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't want to think about how many people are going to Trisha's videos and really taking that as fact and really taking what she says as truth and running with that and hating on vulnerable systems, because DID is formed through intense repeated childhood trauma. These people are vulnerable. And during this whole global pandemic, I feel like everyone's mental health is a little bit wobbly right now. Mine certainly is. If you can't tell, hi, my tone is spicy. This morning, Trisha uploaded a second video about DID called, like, Switch Caught on Camera. It's very clear she's gone back and actually watched a couple of Dissociated's videos and is completely ripping the titles and pretty much the thumbnails. The thumbnail literally has a close-up selfie of herself, like, crossing her eyes. I agree with the comments saying it very much seems like a parody and a mockery of people DID and specifically dissociated, and that is so sickening that she outright calls her crazy and then mocks her like this, and in that video says, like, if you can't handle being called crazy, get off the internet, okay? It's like, this has passed the line. This is why I'm making a video. This is not okay. This is not an attack. This is a defense of mentally ill people. This is a defense of the neurodivergent community that is vulnerable and on YouTube and being hurt at this time by all the crazy, scary shit in the world and by you, Trisha Paytas. She will probably never see this. I just had to have that moment. I'm like, I mentioned H3 at the start of this video. You guys may notice I have some clothing from Teddy Fresh in circulation in my wardrobe. And I have been a fan of H3 Productions. I do not agree with a lot of the things that Ethan specifically says. And I had been definitely watching their podcast reluctantly for a number of months. A numberous number of months, and I've been kind of like, oh my god, anytime I would watch it at home and my dad would walk by or like my boyfriend would walk by, people would always comment watching the TV and be like, man, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I would always be like kind of defending Ethan and watching it for Hila and Zach and Ian, God, not for Ethan. And again, I don't want people to like look through all the past things H3 has done and been like, it really took this to make her cancel them. It's been a long time coming. I just cannot stand to see Ethan and Ayla support and give Trisha a platform and also blindly agree with and defend the things she says. That little highlight they posted of like, Trisha Paytas hates Anthony Padilla. Trisha feeds them her side of the argument, and then there's a room of 5 people that only hear her point of view in the now, and she just spouts this completely twisted, warped version of reality to them that they then publicize and defend and promote. It's on Twitter, it's on YouTube, it's on their highlights, and it's just so immoral. It's so immoral. And I'm really, really sad about it because I had faith in, like, Hila, at least, as, like, a cool Jewish fashion designer queen. I'm also really bummed because I was under the impression that their clothing was ethically produced because Hila said so in a podcast a while back, but I haven't been able to find any sort of statement on their websites or anything, and also the Teddy Fresh support Twitter never got back to my email about it. So I'm really, really sorry if you guys are like very anti call out drama. I don't know. I just feel like this really, because I am against that stuff extremely, but someone is attacking a vulnerable community that I care about deeply, and I followed all of these people for a long time. Dissociated and the DID YouTubers for less time. The others, all of them, 5+ years. And having to pick sides like this, it's just like, I happily picked my side because it was so abundantly clear what was right. You can't do these things on the internet. You cannot act this way. From one struggling, mentally ill person on the internet to another, you cannot use your platform this recklessly. You cannot. I feel like Trish is really trying to just parade under this ignorance and parade under this idea that if she makes herself look so vulnerable and so oblivious and so crazy, quote unquote, if she can try and kind of just make it look like she's so doesn't understand anything that's wrong and she's just like so like, how dare you bully her? It doesn't matter, Trish. You need to talk to a doctor and you need to have facts and truth behind the things that you say before you say them with such honesty for such length. Oh my god. Like, she goes on and on and on in these videos and just spouts all this misinformation. And mentally ill or not, your mental illness does not excuse this behavior. There are a lot of days when I get upset and I want to pick up a camera and start like popping off. I don't do it. You need to be able to control yourself to that degree. Whatever you have, you have to be able to assess it, accept it, and manage it so that it doesn't hurt other people like this. I have to manage my borderline so that it doesn't have a negative impact on my relationships and the people around me. You have to manage whatever mental illness you have so that you're not hurting entire communities of people. Entire communities of people. Someone take away her channel. Okay. I love you guys so much. Sorry this was extremely not my normal type of content. I don't think I have ever made a video like this ever before in my 5+ years of doing YouTube. I'm spicy. I'm a spicy Pisces. And hey, it's like day 5 in quarantine now for me, so maybe I'm just getting a little bit no, in all honesty, I really wanted to stand up for this because I can't exist on this platform and share this platform with these people and just like pretend it's not happening. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video, which is not this one because this one's over. Bye!